Good morning, guys. I got my butter coffee at the garden. Check out that ryegrass. It is really coming in. I might have overdid it with a 50-pound bag, but it was an old bag. It needed to be used. It was like 2 years old, and I didn't know if it'd come up or not. But that's not what I want to talk to you about. Woo! I'm on a mission. Somebody reached out last night in the live chat. They had a really powerful question that brought me back to something I learned and I want to tell you about. And it was about, I don't remember completely what it was. It was about being on fixed income and still being in the red. What do these people do? And there's a lot of people like that. And I want to tell you a story of what resonated with me when I read that question, and I've been mulling on it all night because, he could be reaching out for somebody else or himself or whatever, and just really needing something to happen because this is the scariest thing I can imagine. All right, let me tell you a story. So it starts with when I was about 10 or 11. I don't remember. I was young. I was ripping around on a dirt bike, raising all kinds of hell. And I would go past on an old country road, an old black man's house. Him and his wife's name was Richard and Ola Mae. And I called her mama before it was all over with and I moved. And they were just good old people that were poor. To say it bluntly and painfully, they were just poor. Richard hurt his back. He ran a pulpwood truck, and they just didn't have much. And I'd ride by, and his name was Richard, but he went by Podna. He called everybody Podna. I'd be driving by, and he would jump out of his chair and say, "Podna, hey Podna," and I'd pull in there, and he'd be drinking a Natty Light, and he'd give me one when I was about 13, probably. So we'd hang out on the porch and drink cheap beer. And anyway, but Richard, the moral of the story is, Richard, when you're on government income, fixed income, you're in the hand of the big brother, and you do what they say. You have to, because that's your income. And he wound up, well, let me go back. So about 3 years ago, I went to find him. I went to, all right, where's my buddy Richard and Miss Ola Mae? So I found Miss Ola Mae. She was doing okay. She told me where Richard was, so I went to find Richard. He was in a home. He was in a, I don't know what you call them, when you're in your declining years and you don't have any money and have government-ran facilities. Whatever you call that is where he was. And this is where it took me when I heard that question, because it did something to me when I went in there. I mean, it scared me forever. When I went into this place, I'd say it was built in like the 1960s, late 60s, early 70s maybe. Not a whole lot of remodeling's ever been done. The floors looked like an old Denny's. The rooms were extremely small. It was kind of hot and muggy. I know I'm painting a pretty ugly picture, but it was that ugly. The room was maybe 10 foot wide, and I don't know how long. It was big enough for a bed and a recliner. You know, and you could walk between them, just like that. So I went in, I saw him, and it was just heartbreaking. It devastated my heart to see where people end up. That, things happen. Sometimes things happen to people and there's nothing they could have done about it. But I guess my goal is for nobody that watches this channel to end up like that. I mean, when I saw that, I thought, there is no weather I will not weld in. There's nothing I won't do. I'm going to do whatever it takes to take care of me and mine and to get to the end of life. And I've talked to some people that say, all you think about is money, and money is the root of all evil and all this stuff. Money is how you help people, period. Wake up. If you think that, that's how you are able to help people when they're down and out like that. So now the question was, what do you do? What do you do if you're in this position? Well, it's a lot like diet. A lot of things can go back to diet and exercise. When you get in your 70s and you're in a bind, or 65 and you're morbidly obese and you've got diabetes and you're kind of broken, that's not a good time to start getting in shape. Okay? So I'm not saying it's not possible. I'm saying you're going to have to fight, scratch, and claw and do whatever you have to do. Whatever you have to do, that's what you got to do. That's what I do. Whatever it takes. I started the YouTube channel with my clothes off. I'm going to do whatever it takes to bring as much value as possible. And that's what you're going to have to do. Whatever that is. Now, I know that's not like, here's the answer. Here it is. Do this. What I'm going to do for you is I'm going to call people like the Economic Ninja. I know several millionaires, multi-millionaires. And I'm going to ask them this question. What does this person do if they're in this predicament? Now, I gave you some solutions last night. It was flip a truck, buy something that's cheap, and sell it at an inflated price. Yeah, it's kind of I don't know, it's a talent. You have to realize things that somebody else would pay more for. Fix it up, whatever, see value, hidden value. That's a good way. Now, keep in mind, these people are in their declining years, so they're not able to go work. Now, I'm speculating on the question. So if I got it wrong, reach out to me, Gangster Party, and I will streamline this a little bit more for you. But if people are, elderly, somebody in the comments said, keep children. That is a great idea. If you're sitting around the house and you're able to keep children, that would be, that's a very expensive. People pay a lot of money for that, for a trustworthy person to watch their kid while they go work. It takes two people now. Two people have to go to work to take care of a family. It's not just, the mom or the dad that can go. It's usually two. So there's a room there for people to watch kids. Airjammer said flip cattle. I don't know anything about that, but it's a really interesting thought. I like where your head's at. I actually messaged him back. Maybe he'll fill me in a little more on that. I don't know your skill set. Give me a few more options, but I'm going to reach out to a few people. I'm going to cut the video off and reach out to a few people and try to get some more eyes on the problem, because I don't want anybody to have this problem. Never. So let's go.